ready for summer this year? Are you ready to take your shirt off at the pool? If not, I want to invite you to the first ever John Hansen Summer Fitness Challenge. This transformation contest is going to begin on Monday, June 15th, and it's going to go all the way to September 9th, which is Labor Day. That's 12 weeks of working out and eating right, and you're going to watch your body transform throughout the summer. By the time we hit Labor Day, you're going to have a whole new body, lean, muscular, and ripped. And if you don't believe me, just check out these photos from the winners of the first John Hansen Fitness Challenge. These guys made a total transformation. If they can do it, so can you. I've been a bodybuilder for over 40 years. I won the Natural Mr. Universe 3 times. I won the very first Natural Mr. Olympia. I've written 5 books on fitness and nutrition. I even had my own column in Iron Man magazine for 14 years where I answered questions of people all around the world about exercise and nutrition. If anybody can get you in shape, I can do it. When you join the John Hansen Summer Fitness Challenge, I will personally design a training and diet program just for you. In addition to that, I'm also going to be your coach for the full 12 weeks. You can email me with any questions, and I'm going to follow up with you every week to make sure you're making progress. So if you're ready to get into the best shape of your life this summer, go to johnhansenfitness.com and sign up for the John Hansen Summer Fitness Challenge. Also, the top 3 people who make the most progress are going to win prizes. So go to johnhansenfitness.com today and sign up. I look forward to working with you to get you in the best shape of your life this summer. All right, my name is John Hansen, and this is the johnhansenfitness.com website, and I have with me today Paul Aliotta. I said that name right, Paul?
Yeah, close enough. Usually we pronounce it Aliotta, but...
Aliotta, okay. All right. So Paul was the winner of the first ever John Hansen Fitness Challenge. This was a transformation contest that I ran. It started on January 20th, and we finished on April 13th. And Paul, you were the big winner, so congratulations.
Thank you.
So
yeah, a lot of work, but it was definitely worth it.
Yeah. So one of the things I did with this challenge was everybody who entered it, I wrote up a training and diet program for them, and then I offered to follow up with you with all the people who entered every week. So I was. I could write up a new routine for you guys, and then you were giving me measurements and stuff. And you were, I have to say, Paul, you were one of the few that actually did it. You know, you were the one of the few guys that you were contacting me every week. You wrote out like exactly what you did with your workout, all the weights, all the exercises, all the reps, and then I would send you a new workout each week to try and make it a little bit harder. And we were kind of doing that MP6 workout thing where I was making it a little bit harder each week. So I think, congratulations to you for doing that, because by following up each week, I think you were making the workouts harder every week, right?
Yeah, there was a few that I'd send you the update and be like, man, this was so hard. And he's like, okay, well, do another 10 pounds.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, Paul. Tell me about your background, like how old are you, and when did you start working out and things like that?
So I'm 33, and for me, it starts with my dad. He was a real big influence on me, and he was a huge bodybuilding fan.
Okay.
I remember growing up, we'd go into the guest bedroom, and I still have them. Those you're probably familiar with them. Those little reels that you could buy from bodybuilders. Where they pose. Yeah. And they'd last like 4 or 5 minutes. So we probably have like a dozen of them, just from lots of different famous guys, and a couple from different contests too.
Wow.
And as a kid, the one that really stuck out to me was Sergio.
Yeah.
I just remember thinking as a kid, like, wow, he looks like he came down from Mount Olympus.
Right. I think those were from Wayne Galash, right? Was that he the one that put those out?
I don't know where my dad got them from.
Yeah, because like when I started, I've been in bodybuilding a long time. So before they had VHS tapes, Wayne Galash used to sell these Super 8mm, like reel-to-reel movies. You had to put it on a movie projector. And I got a couple of them when I was young too.
I even have one of Steve Rui's and a couple of black. One guy, I might take a picture of him because I don't even know who he is. It's so old. Yeah. But I grew up with that, and My dad, he would always lift weights, and he one time did a transformation challenge himself.
Did he really? Wow.
Yeah.
When was that?
Man, it was in the late 90s. It was
Okay.
done through the company that did it was EAS. It was like their second year.
Oh, yeah. Bill Phillips, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, by the end, obviously I'm biased, but, I mean, my dad, he was about 3 inches shorter than me, and he still outweighed me by a couple of pounds.
Wow.
Very lean.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'll have to send you a picture or something, because he really looks very similar to Steve Reeves in his structure.
No kidding. Wow.
He had really thick forearms, that really powerful look that Steve Reeves had.
Yeah.
Like Achilles move. So I just kind of always grew up with that. So for me, bodybuilding was just normal. Like, people see folks like that and they look so weird. I'm like, no, that's normal. So I lifted weights for a number of years, just on and off, not as strict as I could.
Okay.
About a year ago, I decided, I was like, I just want to, try to eat a ton of food and see if I can get kind of strong.
Okay.
And I think I had set that as my goal for 2019.
All right.
By the end of December, I think I squatted like 315 for 5 reps. And,
okay.
So a decent level of strength for someone who I think I was like up to like 155, 156.
Okay.
Weight.
Right.
And I kind of planned at that point, I was like, you know what, my shirts, like I'd sit down and my shirts were kind of stretching on my stomach.
Right.
So I was like, you know what, I need to lean out because this is, too much weight for me.
Right.
Then you announced the challenge, so I was like, oh, this is like perfect.
Perfect timing, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I've been putting on weight, so this is great. I'll lean down and see what I got underneath. And,
now, were you ever really ripped before, Paul?
Not as much as I am now.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, I had a pair of those like, $2 calipers for measuring body fat.
Uh-huh.
And the best I had been at was like maybe like a 7-ish when I like measured on my stomach.
Right.
And at the end of the contest, I was down to like just a hair under 4.
Okay. Right.
So this is definitely leaner. I'm definitely leaner than I've ever been.
Yeah. So when you sent me, because at the beginning of the challenge, everybody has to take pictures and measurements. What was your waist? Do you remember what your waist was in the beginning?
It was probably like 32 or 33.
Okay.
I remember I was taking pictures. And I'm like, all right, I want to look bad for the before picture.
Right.
And I tried. I was like, let me stick my stomach out, and it just looked really dumb.
Right.
And so I was like, not gonna work. So I just took very relaxed photos.
Okay.
Man, I can't believe how bad I look. You get up in the morning, you get in front of the mirror, and you're like, kind of pull your stomach in.
Yeah, you don't realize, right, until you take a picture, right? Exactly.
All right, let me just completely relax, take the photo, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe.
Right. Because I think we were like, when we got halfway through the challenge, you sent me some pictures of what you look like in the before picture, and I put it on Facebook because I was like, wow, this guy's really making some great gain, great progress. Because your before picture was so bad, right?
I saw you put that up, and I had a really dumb look on my face. I was like, oh, he's going to be dead. I'd smile or something.
Right. So even though you didn't weigh a lot, you still had the stomach. You had the gut. Yeah,
I had been eating, like I said, because I was trying to I was like, I want to, try to get stronger. So I was eating a lot of food.
Yeah, right.
Really trying to force it down. And I've always had a very fast metabolism. So I still... I was probably eating at least 4,000 calories, and I was still
no kidding. Wow.
Fairly. But yeah, I was definitely, if you look at kind of my size, I was, I was definitely sticking out over my pants a little bit there and starting to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point what you made too about the pictures. We never really realize what we look like in pictures because we just see each other. We see us in the mirror every day. But we're kind of looking at through our eyes, you know what I mean? And we don't really see what we really look like. And I remember I did an interview recently with Frank Zane. And when Frank Zane used to get ready for a contest, he would always rely on his pictures that his wife would take of him. Because he said, when you see a picture, you see how you really look. When you look in the mirror, you're seeing yourself backwards. And you're not really seeing a good picture of yourself. So that's a good point what you made about the before pictures. And I think when people take those before pictures, in general, I think people are kind of shocked. You know, they're surprised at how bad they look. You know.
Well, it's so easy to adjust in front of a mirror.
Yeah.
To like, no, that's not good. Pull my, make this adjustment.
Right.
And I heard that. I listened to that interview you did with Frank, and after that interview, I started taking pictures of myself every day.
Oh, really? No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, huge difference just because I realized I put the camera go like this and take a picture, and I go, oh, I look terrible.
Right. Right.
It took me a while actually to pose decently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because just you lean too far back, then your stomach flattens out. So if you lean too forward, and so it took me a while just to get to the point where I could take photos over and over, and be in the proper stance to actually look decent.
Right. Okay. So I had you starting off kind of low, really, right? I mean, we were starting like 2,200 calories a day. So if you're eating 4,000 in your off season, that was a big difference, right?
Yeah, well, like I said, I was really trying to.
You were trying to bulk up, yeah.
I was making a smoothie every day that was about like 800, 900 calories.
Yeah. Yeah.
And man, by the end, I was having trouble sleeping because I was so hungry.
Really? Wow. Yeah. So how was it in the beginning when you first started the diet? Because, I had you eating like 6 meals a day. So was it tough following that diet? Have you done that before, like following a consistent diet, eating 6 meals a day, pretty much the same thing every day?
Yeah, that when I sent you my previous diet, I've always eaten pretty much the same stuff day in, day out. Just because it makes things easier. Yeah,
it does.
And so a lot of the stuff you put me on was pretty similar to what I had eaten before.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously it was less. And so the actual structure of eating the same thing over and over. I used to eat, for example, for lunch you had me on chicken and rice. And that was what I had eaten before, chicken and rice.
Yeah.
Instead of having a half cup of rice, which you had me on, I was having like 2 cups of rice.
Right.
And,
so it's just the quantity, yeah.
So I'm like, this isn't a meal, this is a snack.
Right. Now, how about the workouts, Paul? How did you like the workouts? Because how many days a week were you training?
4 days a week.
4 days a week, okay. And how did that go? Like, the way the workouts were structured and everything, how was that?
Yeah, so the big thing for me was, I think for the last few years, I probably got a little too over analytical with what I had done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a scientist. I'm a physicist myself.
Oh, are you? Okay.
For me, I said to folks, I'm like, I love working out. It's like this consistent experiment where I'm always figuring things out. And I kind of gotten into the mentality of a lot of folks saying, oh, well, you're natural. You can't do too much.
Yeah.
You overdo it. And so, okay, well. So I've been on a pretty low volume, just like, hit one set, just all you got, everything,
Yeah, like Mike
Maybe a couple other sets to follow up, and you put me on, just a very classic routine,
Mm-hmm.
Pick maybe like, 3 or 4 exercises, 9 to 11 total sets.
Right.
This is pretty similar to all the stuff like my dad would do.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
He said, you can't go wrong with 3 sets of 10.
Right.
And so that increase in volume, obviously made a big difference.
Okay.
Looking back, I'm like, I really wasn't doing enough volume to stimulate growth. I was getting stronger somewhat, but I really probably wasn't growing much.
That's interesting. Okay. So with the real low volume, even though it was that 1 set to failure, that wasn't enough to stimulate muscle growth.
I mean, just from my sample size, from what I've seen,
Yeah. Okay.
Like I said, this, the volume wasn't extremely high or anything like that.
Right. More moderate.
Yeah, and then it balances out somewhat because when you're doing 3 sets, the first set's hard, the second set's tough, and then that third set is, that's when you get a little bit tougher. And then just all that added volume, obviously makes a big difference. But I think the first 4 weeks, my legs would be sore after Monday until Friday.
Wow, that's a good workout.
Yeah, they were killing me because I was so unused to I'd do 1 set, really 1 set of squats, and I'd just be I'd be like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
So then going to like, all right, 3 sets of squats, and then another like 4 sets on the leg press, and then leg curl.
And you were doing like 3 working sets too, right? So we get to that weight that you wanted to use, and you did 3 sets with that.
Yeah, and that even the warm up stuff for me at first took some getting used to because previously I had not wanted to, because I was saving everything for the final set. I would keep my warm up sets like I'd do 135 for 5 and then 225 for 5. And he said, all right, you had me like 135 for 12 and 225 for 10.
Right.
Or kind of something like that. And so even all that added volume still goes to total. Even like that first set, I'd do that first set and go, oh man, I'm already tired.
Yeah. Now, when you were going through this 12-week period, Paul, do you think you were able to add muscle as you were losing the fat?
I would say so.
Yeah.
And, based on the measurements, I think my arms went up a tiny bit. And before I hadn't done any really direct arm work.
Okay.
I've just never particularly cared to work out arms, but obviously kind of learned my lesson on that, okay,
Yeah.
It'll make a difference. Just because I find it more fun to do stuff like, heavy chin-ups or dips or,
Right.
just working one muscle group. But yeah, it made a difference. I mean, I lost all this weight. I'm like, all right, my arms, they went up a tiny bit, and I lost, 12 pounds or 13.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you're natural, and that's a really tough thing to do is when you're getting leaner and you're decreasing your calories, it's hard to add muscle at the same time. It's almost impossible, especially a guy like you who's been working out for years and you're used to training. I think a beginner who'd never trained before might be able to do it, but with you, it would be much harder. But that's why I think, when we were trying to make the workouts a little harder each week, I think that was the goal, was to keep pushing the training intensity and by, adding a little more weight each week and then maybe backing off and then adding more weight again. I think that was the goal, was to try to put on muscle as you were getting lean. But it made the workouts very tough, right? I mean, I know toward the end when you were getting lean and the calories were low, it was really, really tough. I know because you were writing in your notes there. This was really tough.
Yeah. Well, and this is one thing I've always known is the other thing too is you can't always take 1 week to be a judge of how you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's workout or the diet, there was one point where I weighed myself and I'm like, how I haven't lost any weight in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Weighed myself again 2 days later, I dropped 3 pounds.
Right. I know. Yeah, that's how it goes.
So weight fluctuates a lot, and then I started weighing myself pretty much every day so I could kind of see how much it was fluctuating.
Right.
And when this, I set up this equipment behind me because before I didn't have a really good setup for squatting at all. And the first week I squatted here at home, it was terrible. I got like 5 reps at 250 or something. But I was like, all right, this was a bad week. I'm not used to squatting here.
Right.
Went out in the car and my belt's in there and all that stuff. So next week I came in and it was like 265 and I was able to get 7.
Oh, okay.
It was a bad day. So, you just sometimes if you have that day, that week where you don't make progress, you just kind of say, what happens.
Yeah, keep pushing through, right. So let's talk about this coronavirus because, we started this thing in January. We had no idea that all the gyms were going to be shut down and all this stuff was going to happen. So then like mid-March, everything changes. All the gyms are shut down across the country. Even the food was hard to get. There was a certain run on foods and it was hard to get regular food in the grocery store. So how did you overcome that? Like you said, you got the home gym there. So it kind of worked out good for you, right? Because right around the time this hit, you were ready to transition to a home gym.
Yeah, I already had a gym set up at home. I had my dad's old bench. And when I say old bench, it's a Jack LaLanne bench. So,
wow.
And he had gotten some newer equipment years ago, and I had always thought, I was like, it's not going to fit in here. It's too tall. And I just kept looking at him like, maybe I'll get lucky. And I know my mom wants it out of the house, so I'll just go grab it. And I got it, and it literally it's just barely scraping the top there. So I was like, oh, it actually does fit. And so I was like, all right, well, if I can get that in here, now I got a squat rack, and that makes, the only downside to being here really is with the short ceiling, I can't do standing overhead presses.
Okay.
And since my floor is not level, I had to build a little squat, little platform to stand on.
Okay.
So
the bench that you're standing in front of, that has a squat rack, and you can squat and bench on it.
Yeah, so this bench here, just like, this is the one I'm sitting on.
You're sitting on it, okay.
Put out. And then the rack behind me is just a basic squat rack, and then it's got a pulley set up on it too.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I did not have to buy much because my dad, he had gotten so much over the years. I have an old hyperextension, one of the parallel ones, for back extensions and Roman chair sit-ups. I got a little vertical leg press. I got some power block dumbbells. And,
okay.
And lots of different stuff here. So after I got the squat rack set up, I was like, all right, I don't need to go back to the gym anymore.
Right.
And I think about a couple of days later, they announced, like, all right, we're shutting the gyms down. I said, man, I'm glad I set that up.
Wow, perfect timing.
Yeah.
So now, Paul, you're married. You've got a couple kids, right?
Yes.
How old are your kids?
So my son is 3 and my daughter is 5.
Okay, so you got young kids. So how was that training at home? And you got, you're married. You got young kids at the house too.
It can be interesting. There's a few times where it'd be like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. I'd put the kids to bed, and I just oh man, now I gotta work out. I want to go.
Right. So that's when you worked out, right? You had to work out at night after you put the kids to bed.
Sometimes, if I, back when I was going to the gym, I would kind of go there before I came home. That way I wouldn't have distractions. But then sometimes I'd have to pick up the kids, and if they, for whatever reason, were up late, then, I have to work out after they go to bed. And so that's just how.
Now, in the beginning, weren't you doing like half your workout in the morning and then half at night?
Yeah, I did that for about 2 weeks. I had, because I really prefer to work out at home rather than going to the gym.
Uh-huh.
And so I kind of said, okay, well, why don't I just do whatever I can do at home, and then, do the big stuff at the gym. Because at the time, I didn't have a great setup for squatting, especially heavy weight.
Yeah.
Or a lot more careful. So I did all the really heavy stuff where I wanted to make sure, like, it could be a little safer.
Yeah.
At the gym. Then I'd come home and do more of the isolation work.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, that's a good story, though, because a lot of people, I think, are in the same situation as you. They have kids, young kids at home. And if, now that the gyms are closed, you have to train at home if you have the equipment. But if you got it, you can still do it. You just got to work around the schedules, right?
Yeah, I honestly, unfortunately, my phone crashed a couple of weeks ago, and I lost a lot of videos and stuff. But I had this one where I was trying to finish up my arm workout, and my kids they barged down into the basement. So, all right, and so this great video where I'm doing the hammer curls, and my son's next to me with these tiny 2-pound dumbbells. Yeah, I was hot, so I took off my shirt. So he insisted on taking his shirt off.
Oh, great!
Daddy's strong.
That's awesome.
And so if my kids were here, I just, if it's all right, I got to squat. So just sit there, give Daddy 30 seconds.
Right.
You watch me, and then I rack it, and they rush over or something. That's just And so to me, it was just all right. I'll get my kids involved too and have some fun with it.
Yeah, well, that's cool now because it's like you watch your dad work out. Now your kids are watching you work out.
Yeah, and he really inspired me. So I hope they look up to me the same way I looked up to him.
Yeah, is your dad still around?
No, unfortunately, he passed away before my kids were born.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now looking at your before and after picture together here, Paul. How do you feel? How do you feel, you accomplished your goal of making that transformation? How do you feel?
I feel great. I'm feeling very good, especially now that I'm eating a little more food.
Yeah, right. Now, this is the best time, right? Because you're still lean and you're able to eat more calories and still look good. And I'm sure the workouts are better too, right?
Yeah, I've been hitting a couple, I've just been looking back, through the journal of like, all right, this is what I did, so let's beat that. And, I've been beat a lot of what I did on the program. And even just one of the surprising facts is I'm not needing to sleep as much. I'm getting up very easily in the morning.
Wow.
Really, all this, I was dragging a lot in the morning, just so tired. And
Probably the extra calories are giving you more recuperation, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. So are you still tracking everything? You're still tracking your workouts, but are you still tracking your diet too?
Not as carefully.
Not as much, yeah.
I've kind of taken the strategy of, all right, I'm still actually eating all the meals, and then I'm just kind of adding in a lot more vegetables to help me feel not as hungry.
Okay, that's a
And
good
then
strategy.
when I'm full, I'll eat something depending on how I feel. And
Yeah.
so like today, I wasn't terribly hungry, so I pretty much stuck to the diet that you had given me. Plus, I had thrown in a lot, like I said, the extra vegetables.
Okay, well that's healthy.
Yeah. After doing legs, I was so hungry, so then I let myself have some treats and stuff like that. So,
did you have any do you have any cravings for anything when you were dieting? When you're getting toward the end there?
Not so much. I mean, just cravings for more food.
Yeah.
But
no particular like junk food or anything like that.
What's that?
No particular junk food or anything you were like starving for or craving?
Yeah, nothing I was really starving for. I do have a weakness for two things, junk food wise, and that's Rice Krispie treats and cheesecake.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, the coronavirus, I was all set. I'm like, man, when this is done, I'm going to a Cheesecake Factory. I'm gonna celebrate. Yeah, when the coronavirus stuff happened, I was just like, why?
Yeah.
But I made some Rice Krispie treats at least, and I've enjoyed those.
Yeah. Paul, what would your suggestions be to people out there that, especially now, with this coronavirus and the quarantine and stuff, I'm sure a lot of people are getting out of shape, especially if they don't have places to work out or they don't have a home gym. What would be your advice for people who are going to go through something like this, like a transformation contest? As far as the diet and the training goes, what would your advice be to them?
You really get in you get out what you put in.
Yeah.
Like I said, you mentioned looking back. For me, I look back at my journal, and there was actually a couple of weeks I didn't log my workouts.
Okay.
It was because I just said, I'm like, all right, this is what John said to do. I'm not going to write down what I did. I'm just going to do what he said to do. Like, there was just in my head, he said to do this. Why should I write down that I'm doing what he said? I'm going to hit all these. Like, right. I just had, not necessarily the confidence, but I just was like, all right, he says, do this, I'm going to do it. And,
okay.
And so it was just, I just had it in my head that I'm not going to make excuses. I'm just going to do what I got to do, and that's it. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to make any excuses. And at the end, and regardless of what happens, I want to know. I want to know I did everything that I could have done. I want to, and that's why I said I even was practicing my posing, day in and day out, just to make sure that the final shot would, look as good as possible. And I was even outside in like 40-degree weather. I was like, well, just see if I can just get a little tan because I'm so pale.
Right. Where do you live at, Paul? Massachusetts,
I live
right?
Near New Hampshire.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
And I mentioned even when I drove down to Florida for my little vacation there.
That's right. Yeah, right. And so when you did that, you still stayed on the diet and everything, right? You brought your food and.
Yeah, I mean that was we drove down for a week and drove back up, and even I did all the driving. It was about 24 hours straight.
Yeah. And
staying up's not a problem for me. I've done that drive before, but usually I'd bring snacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like I went through the entire night, and all I had for snacks was the egg whites of hard-boiled eggs that I had made.
Wow, that's tough.
And, well, like I said, I just had it. It's funny, because when my dad did his transformation, we also went to Florida.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
And so I was like, man, this is like just a deja vu here.
Right, right.
Like I said, I just had it in my head. I'm like, I'm not going to make any excuses. I'm not going to, and that's what it takes. If you just decide, I'll try this, and maybe I'll kind of do a little bit. It's not going to work. You got to really go all out. You got
to commit yourself, right? Exactly.
I had it in my mind. That it kind of reminded me of Dorian Yates when he said he would show up at the Olympia, and he's like, "Well, I knew I'd win because I did everything I had to do to win."
Right.
And I said that to my wife. She asked me at one point. She's like, "You think you're going to win?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to win." And she's like, "Why?" no one else is doing all this stuff.
Right,
Like,
right, exactly. Yeah,
I'm not like there's nothing else I could do to help me win more.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We had quite a few people in the challenge drop out, because I think probably because of all the stuff that was going on. So that's why I was glad to see someone like you do it or win, because I know that you went through those challenges. I remember when you told me about that Florida trip. So yeah, that's cool. That I mean, I guess the lesson is that it's going to get hard, right? I mean, if you go through a 12-week process like this, there's going to be days or weeks where you're going to have a hard time. It's not going to be easy every day, and it's not going to be a smooth sailing. And you just got to keep pushing through it through those hard days, right?
Yeah, it's just in terms of it's really more of a life lesson because this is something that I've always thought of. There's times I'm under especially when I squat because squatting is just so hard.
Yeah.
And I just go, do I want to quit now? And I just come back in my head and I just tell myself, are you the type of person, do you want to tell your kids, do I want to tell my kids that I'm the type of person that's going to quit because something's hard?
Right, right.
I'm like, all right, they're not going to know that I squatted, but it's more than that. It's more like, it's just the idea of, all right, well, if I quit on this, then am I going to quit on something else?
You're right, exactly. Yeah.
And so I've just always taken that mentality of, when I go into something, just, this is a reflection of me, the type of person I am. And when you're in the gym, type of person you are really shines through if you just kind of, you're the type of person who just shows up, just, I'm not really.
Yeah.
You're just like, no, I'm going to do whatever it takes,
Right. Yeah, I read something like about that, once you start quitting, it's easy to quit on everything, so you just have to make the commitment that you're going to go for it in everything you do, whether it's squatting or the diet or sticking to it or, no matter what, you just have to go through it. And I think your mental attitude helped too, because you started off with this idea that I'm going to win and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win, and no one's going to work harder than me. No one's going to outwork me.
Yeah, that was just, that was always my approach. It was like, I'll do everything,
Yeah.
I mean, try to get creative, like you said, just working on posing and trying to get, a little bit of sunlight so I can get a tiny tan and just, making sure I took vitamins every day and, just those small things that
right.
can make a difference.
So let me look at your measurements here, Paul. All right, so when we started off, your waist was 33 on January 20th, and then on the end of the challenge on April 13th, your waist went down to 27 and a half. So you lost like 2.5 inches off your waist, and yeah, your arms unbelievably went up a 1/2 inch. That's amazing. So as you lost the weight, your arms went up 1/2 inch, and you had some other measurements here. So your weight went from 152 to 137. So you lost like 15 pounds. Yeah, about 15 pounds, and 2.5 inches off the waist. But the pictures tell the story. The transformation was amazing.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's been a long time since I really worked my arms at all.
Yeah.
Only done compound stuff, and that, I mean, just doing my arms directly made a huge difference.
Right.
So, I mean, that the arms part really did not surprise me. I knew they were really undertrained more than anything else.
Yeah. All right, Paul. Well, I want to congratulate you. You're the first winner ever of the John Hansen Fitness Challenge. You're like the Larry Scott of the John Hansen Fitness Challenge. You're the first winner ever. So you can tell that story for the rest of your life.
It's funny that popped in my head earlier, and I was like, Larry Scott, he got like what $100 for winning the first Mr. Olympia, and then
Actually, the first one he didn't even get anything. He just got that crown they put on his head. So. So we should mention the prizes too. Old School Labs was our sponsor, so they're going to give you $200 worth of supplements. So that's nice. And then I just sent you out today all your prizes from me. So you're going to get all 3 of my books. You're going to get the Bodybuilding Heroes and Legends, Volume 1, which is all the stories of the 1970s. And then you're going to get the MP6 workout book. And you're also going to get my Diary of a Natural Bodybuilder. So you're getting all 3 of those books. Plus, you're getting my 2 DVDs, which will be the Real Muscle DVD, which is a training DVD. So I'm sure you'll love that. And then you're getting my natural bodybuilding seminar and competitions, where it's like a 2-hour seminar that I did years ago, and we taped that. and so that we made that into a DVD. So you're going to get that as well. So I sent that all out. You'll probably get it next week, early next week.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll probably devour them as soon as they come in. I'm really looking forward to it.
All right. All right, Paul. Well, I want to thank you for all your hard work and for entering this challenge and putting so much into it. And your progress pics were amazing. So we're going to put this video up on YouTube so people can see it and hopefully be inspired by it. And congratulations, Paul, for being the first winner of the John Hansen Fitness Challenge.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, Paul. You take care, and I'll talk to you again.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.